Yeah, he had a wireless.
On Manchester Avenue.
The guy never just sat still, man.
Right,
Yeah, we'd be rehearsing in the studio, and then he'd walk out with his wireless and go out across the street. Or
He'd be in
that was Scott Hoagland's band.
Yeah. Well, Hoagland's...
Yeah, we were pretty messed up back then. That was pretty...
Shocking.
Yeah.
He was always into the shock values, you know?
Yep. That, DOS Clown. Yeah, right about the same time.
Did he play in DOS Clown?
He did.
He did? I didn't know that.
He was in DOS Clown.
AJ, huh?
All he wore was a red nose.
That's crazy, because AJ's like been sober for like 25 years.
He's with AJ right now doing Wrong Beach.
Huh?
He's doing Wrong Beach with
Is
AJ.
He?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was... I've heard of the band, I didn't know it was AJ.
AJ and Rick.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
they've been doing a lot of
stuff. They're taking
lately.
it to the next level. I see pictures that they're recording something right now. I keep seeing the pictures of them doing backing vocals.
Is it originals?
They do Creatures.
Or do they?
But I think Rick wrote that.
Right.
But yeah, it's just, AJ's an older guy. He's like, because I'm a family guy, I'm a grandfather now, and he's like, our record's called The Last Wave, because this is my last wave. It's my last wave in this music thing. Like,
I worked on one of their recordings.
Yeah.
DOS Clown.
Yeah. Wrong Beach is it's the same thing, but it's a little bit surfy, a little campy. It goes with the theme Wrong Beach. They'll play Pipeline out of tune.
A lot of Long Beach bands covered. They do a lot of tunes by Long Beach bands.
Yeah.
And they're really tight.
Yeah.
They are tight.
Yeah, got a keyboard.
Was Secret Hate one of the bands they covered? That was a Long Beach.
Possibly. They're pulling. I mean, you know how Rick is. He'll get sick of something, and I mean they have a pretty good roster of songs.
What do? They do Cherry Bomb. They do that Link Ray song.
They do. Okay, really? They do Link Ray?
Yeah, they do.
I actually got a chance to see Link Ray.
Wow, cool. A Suburban Lawns song.
Suburban Lawns. Wow. I seen them at the Galaxy when Mario was.
Hey, remember Mario used to do that?
Yeah.
When he used to use Rat Sound, remember?
Yeah.
He had us all working right there.
That's the sound company I worked for 10 years.
Yeah.
It was Rat Sound. They're huge now.
Yeah?
Yeah. They were at Fender's all the time. They were the Rat Band.
That's how I learned. That's where I learned how to do sound. Was I would be working for either DI or the Adolescents, and Rick or Steve.
What was that guy's name? Dave?
Yeah, Dave Rat. Hey, go out there and tell the sound guys, man, to turn the backing vocals up. Tell them that that there's the guitars trade off guitar parts, man. It was really an intricate part of the show, man. Their set, it's like it's not just all.
Just turn
so
it on.
I would run out there and I'd be like, hey, can you turn the backing vocals up? He'd be like, aren't you the same guy that was out here the other night when that DI band was playing? Well, yeah, this is a different band.
No, not that Galaxy.
Here's the vocals, here's the guitars.
Commonwealth.
Do it.
Go it yourself,
Thank you.
Little did I know, 5 years later, I would be, 10 years later, I would be working for him.
Yeah,
That's how I got hooked up with Neil Young.
Mario Martinez.
And eventually, that's kind of how I got hooked up
with
working with real big artists, with the grunge stuff.
During the week, 2 days a week, I wore a referee shirt,
I went out with
and I was skating around.
And then I worked with Mother
Covered all the
Love Bone.
bases.
I worked with Alice in Chains.
Oh, that must have been cool.
These are all on their first tours, right?
That was the
and
best
Rat
part.
Sound was their sound company, so I was just setting the PA up, but I wasn't mixing anybody. And then I'd mix the opening band, and one of the opening bands were like Mudhoney, and Green Apple Quickstep, and ended up just working with a lot of sub pop bands, Melvins. That was all through Rat Sound, man. And now Rat's one of the biggest sound companies in the West Coast.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, they do Coachella every year.
He was way cool.
Yeah, he's the Chili Peppers sound engineer.
Remember, Mario used to do the punk rock on the weekend, and then 2 days a week he had me out there with a referee shirt skating.
Nice.
Homo night,
Yeah.
Like, I said, man, I don't know if I can work here,
What?
At the roller rink?
Yeah, because I swear this guy fuck, man, he was huge. He had like 28 arms, and he fucking skated by me. I'm all, slow down. I'm all, oh my God, he ain't got no pants on. He had like chaps on, but he didn't. I'm all, oh my God. And then when I went to Frisco with Dennis Danell, boy, check him out. I said, fuck. And I said, wow, this is the real world. Oh, I said, man.
The punk rock gigs
it's crazy.
And even in LA, like they used to have them off of Santa Monica. I forget the name of that on the fucking club there. But their punk rock gigs were always in the shittiest neighborhoods. I knew that from touring, man. We go to Baltimore, D.C., New York, Jersey, Philly, and they were in VFW halls and abandoned buildings.
American
Legion halls in the shittiest neighborhoods. Most of the time in the ghettos, the blackest neighborhoods, man. You know, in the 80s, man, cracks fucking crazy. You gotta worry about crackheads breaking into your vehicle or your trailer and stealing your gear, you know. I used to, for the whole time I worked for the Adolescents, I used to carry a 12-inch Bowie knife strapped to my leg. And if Gordon Cox wasn't out on the tour, and I was on, even when he wasn't on the tour, if I went and collected the money that night, I always had that knife strapped to my leg, man. And being a small guy, you know, a lot of times we're dealing with these promoters that were fucking shiesty. If they weren't punk rock kids who didn't really know what they were doing, they were guys who were just out to make money.
Yeah, profit.
So they were gonna, like, regardless if the band had any type of verbal guarantee, you know, because there were no contracts back then. You know, they'd be like, yeah, here's $300. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, you know, the guarantee was like $1,000 plus a percentage at the door, and yeah, well, you know, I tell you what, put a fucking 38 on the table. Be like, here's $500.
500's looking all right.
Don't come back.
All of a sudden, yeah.
You know,
500's looking all right.
Don't come back. You know. It was like, you know, that shit fucking, it got crazy like that. Like, especially on the East Coast, they'd have like some of the actual legitimate clubs that maybe used to be discos, and then they started doing punk rock stuff. They were all owned by mobsters, man, or guys who were affiliated. You know, and that's the way they ran their business. It's like, yeah, we know whoever the kid was who booked this show told you he'd give you $1,000, but we're going to give you 500.
Oh my gosh.
While you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere from Orange
either
County.
that or we're in the middle of a city and they're just, you know,
From here.
what are you going to do, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, they got
In a
much
van.
to do, yeah.
A fucking van.
Your van is parked across the street in that secured lot over there that my brother-in-law owns, right?
Oh my
You do want to,
you want it back,
oh
right?
yeah, you do want to take that home, don't you? You know, it's like shit like that. You know, it's like, there was no guarantees that you were going to make your money, regardless if there was kids lined up around the block, you know?
Yeah. Jerry Roach style. Jerry Roach style.
Fuck, that used to happen at CBGB's where, you know, punk bands played all the time, you know?
Jerry Roach had me and Tim O'Brien and Albert DeWardy, and took us out the back door. We had all those guys from Vicious Circle wanting to kill us. I said, I'm not going back out there. You're crazy.
Right.
You know, I'm not going back out there.
Hey, so did Bradford Battalions have a tour? I can't remember. Did they go out? Or was it?
It wasn't an actual tour. It was mostly, it was one-offs. We flew to New York. We did a really good show at a real nice place called the Ritz, man.
Yeah.
And it was,
SG played there later, yeah. The Ritz in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, the headlining show was Descendants and Adolescents co-headlining. Doggy Style and Social Unrest. Remember Social Unrest?
Yeah, they were actually really good.
Yeah.
San Francisco? Yep.
There was another band on the bill. I can't remember.
Man.
I used to have the poster for the longest time, and then after all these different moves I did, the poster went from being this big to like just the Adolescents and like Descendants and kind of all ripped up, and you know, stapling it and pulling it and stapling it and pulling it. All the corners, it got to where it was about that size. Poster was this big, and but man, yeah, we flew out. We did some one-offs. Then that same promoter flew us out, and we did about 12 dates on the East Coast, and the same promoter was in charge of all the shows, and he was collecting all the money, and he was giving us per diems. And then we did a show in Connecticut at an Eagles Club in Hartford, Connecticut, and we got burned. We got word that somebody who worked for him said, "Hey man, we just want to let you know that Chris plans on keeping all the money and sending you guys home with nothing." So right after that show, we collected the dough. His representative, who was at all those events, who was collecting the money and just giving us per diem, we collected all the money. We went and we fucking flew home that night because the guy was out to burn the band.
Yeah.
Because it was right when they were trying to capitalize on like the reunion thing, you know. Because the first thing they put out when they reunited was the Brats and Battalions record, and the East Coast was the first one other than like, there was one show here, I don't know if it was at the Reseda Country Club or that paid, it was a Golden Boy show. They paid him big bucks to do a reunion show. I don't remember where it was. Maybe Celebrity Theater. But we ended up going to the East Coast because there was more money. They were offering more money there.
Yeah.
And then the guy did it with the intention of burning the band.
At the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not paying him. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think that was his motive from the get-go.
Yeah. Burn him at
Because
the
we were
very
like, whoa, man, really, $1,200 bucks? That's, you know, that was a lot of money in
Back
like
then,
87,
yeah.
86, yeah.
Uh-huh.
$1,200 bucks. That was a lot of money. So we jumped on it. And at the time, Eddie Egan was kind of managing the band.
Yeah.
And he went out with us, and that record was supposed to come out on Savage Beat Records, and then
Yeah. Eddie's
somehow,
label.
well, Eddie was all fucked up.
Yeah.
He was strung out, and then Gordon got into the picture, and it came out on SOS Records,
Yeah.
and yeah, then he took on the management
Yeah.
responsibilities.
Gordon Cox. Yep. We have a good scene, man. I'm gonna make sure people know about it.
As long as Rick gets his props,
If it's a
man,
small
that's really the whole purpose for me, even opening my mouth.
Yeah. Small audience, I don't give a shit. Big audience, okay, whatever. Yeah. Cool.
Well, with the YouTubes and all that shit now, it's like, you know, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. We'll put out some clips.
I'm still trying to find When We Were Feared, because when that came out, I was in jail when it came out,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
So
I
wanna
was
find
actually
that.
at the Cinerama for the release.
The premiere for that,
Mhm.
yeah? How was it?
You were locked up?
Yeah, I was locked up.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
I mean, how is the film? Is it done well? Is
Yeah,
it
it
just,
actually
is it just
really
all
is done well.
interviews or what?
No, it's not all interviews, actually. There's a lot of Casey in it. I'll tell you that much. There's
Go
a lot
figure,
of Casey
he
in it.
Yeah, he
when
likes
he was
it.
younger.
In everything.
There was a lot
That's why Casey's not going to be in this one.
Yeah, if you're going to, I'd give him like one clip of talking because
Not
they
even
kept
that.
queuing him
clip
in
into
back at the
5.
Cuckoo's Nest when
No.
way back at the Cuckoo's Nest, and
Then you have to put
Because
in the
Casey
jokes.
was in all
Right.
those other ones, I'm not going to use him in this one
They use
because
him too much.
it's going to be too incestuous. So I'm
Did
going to
you see
be.
When
and
We Were
I drove him down
Yeah,
there
I
too,
saw that
and
part.
they had
Yeah.
an extra chair
Is
down
there any
at the
live
bottom
footage, like old
when
live
they were
footage?
doing Q&A.
Or is it all just film?
And
Photos?
It's-
they
it's
brought
pretty
Casey up, and I had
gritty.
to sit at
Just
there all the
photos?
time,
Oh,
fucking waiting.
Mostly, maybe some
Waiting.
little gritty clips that are
Uh-huh.
bad
I've
audio.
just seen trailers of it, and it was all interviews.
If I
Yeah.
come up with a picture
Yeah,
or something,
that's
something
basically-
before you sign it for me.
Well, what happened was
What band?
I was doing
Playing
the Jerry Rhodes
I-
story,
Mad.
and
No, I was
chicken
in
got
Youth
cancer.
Gone Mad.
You come out.
Yeah,
This was
just, I was at
2008.
like a fringe,
So,
but I'd
Jerry goes, hey, look.
Yeah,
He goes,
let me
I don't
see
want
if
you
I
to
can come
find
up with
out
an
through
old
anybody else. He goes,
from,
I'm going to bring in a whole
late
complete production.
Yeah, there's not too many pictures
It's
of
like
me in
you're
it.
taking care of your friend,
I was
and
actually
we're
in a
gonna change
band
the title.
with called the Estonians,
and I
And he
think
is
you're
like
into
a guitar player.
different-
and
a different-
I would sing
completely
backups
different
with them.
How about,
But my whole thing was
sometimes
to
as
do it on
well.
Jerry
Find a-
Roach and
find
the
a picture
Cuckoo's
or
Nest.
something.
Sure.
And anybody get in.
And Chicken got sick, and I was there helping him with chemo, and
Right.
Roach called me in.
Yeah,
I got
I'll
crew
see
coming
what I
in
can
from
dig up. There's
Seattle.
a couple pictures
Right.
of me with them.
I'm like, that's
from a
cool.
long
Like, I'm
time
glad you
ago.
called,
Yeah,
because I'd hate to find out
real happy with
through the
that.
grapevine
I could probably get it signed by some
Yeah.
other members too.
That'd be great. I mean, I love
that,
it, you know?
that,
Because I see Tammy
Jerry's a
from time
straight
to time.
shooter.
He lives
you know?
in New
forget
York,
your
so
wallet.
Yeah,
I
I'll
don't
get
see
it.
him all that
Actually,
often.
he's not. We don't even
And
know. We
then-
should grab it now
Yeah.
because
Yeah, we're
Later,
we're not
more
really
recently,
using
like
it
I've got some
for
pictures
any
where we're
real
on stage at the
specific
punk rock
reason,
picnic.
you know?
Not
Yeah.
anymore.
At
Actually,
the
we
one
weren't
in
at the
Irvine.
beginning, were they?
Yeah, I think
I
tomorrow.
could find that, and most of the people
You
that
should be
were in the
okay,
band
dude.
at that time, there were like 10 people in the
I
band.
wasn't
Why
called
those
today.
guys are-
Oh no, I go on
Yeah,
Thursday
well,
because today was my
you know
court
what?
date. I
got
fucked
to keep
up.
Oh,
I
it's not-
didn't tell you that.
No.
Yeah,
that'd be cool,
I was supposed
Okay.
to go to court today.
You went
When
to.
I moved
Yeah.
down the 17th,
Yeah,
and my lawyer called me at 10 o'clock this morning and said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm at my sober living doing laundry." He goes, "Why aren't you in court?" My associate's there,
Yeah, but he's always
and he's got the judge,
Yeah,
and the judge
yeah.
wants an issue
Well, yeah,
a
it was
bench
cool,
warrant
you
for
know.
you. I'm like, because
That's
I'm
my
supposed to
thing
be
now.
at court on the 17th. He
All the
goes,
stuff that
"You're
I
supposed to
lost.
be in court on the 16th.
I did all the Golden Boys.
I made a
All
mistake.
the
He
Golden
goes,
Boys,
"Well," he goes, "you better
stage shit.
start
Mhm.
gathering
all
up
that, all
letters of character, man." He goes, "And make sure you have your letter from Woodland that says you completed the 90-day program and a letter from your sober living house." He goes, "Because this judge wants to put you
I
in
can come
jail."
up with something for you.
He said 8
You like that, huh?
appearances.
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't want to see
If
you
I happen
anymore.
to
You know, he.
run into some folks
So,
before I get it to you, I'll
I
see if
have
I can
to
get
go.
them
I
to
go
put
on
something on it
Thursday.
too.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. I appreciate
I got somebody who's going to write a letter for me here, and I have my
This guy I know
letter
fucks
from
since we
completing that
Like,
program.
for high
Yeah.
school.
Oh,
And,
you guys go back a ways,
Yeah,
huh?
we have
I actually have a letter from a psychiatrist saying that I'm bipolar, and that I, you know, have
Which
this
is
bipolar issue.
what ended up on what Which ended up in the freeway fiasco.
Well, I mean, there was
Yeah.
that.
Kinda
and
dropped
I'd
out
been
of the
drinking
picture
all
about
day and
Yeah.
85 or so.
coming down because
yeah.
I was
My
kind
daughter
of
was
strung on
going,
these
I spent more
oxys,
time,
right? And these
Yeah.
opiates
buying
called the Apanas.
baby shoes and
And
Ain't nothing wrong with
I was
that.
coming
you
down
know,
off of
and
that.
then going out.
kinda
I mean, it's
trying
hard to
kick
go out
back.
when you got to get
Yeah.
a babysitter and
You
you're
know,
broke.
yeah,
and,
if you think about it,
turned out
all the
all
people
bad.
that,
It's like, so,
I mean, look at all the bands
like I
that
said,
were
if
right
you would have
there,
told
right?
me even
And how
5 years ago,
I touched on that.
I'd be where I'm
before
at
there were
right
anybody,
now.
you know.
Mhm.
Not to mention I
That's
owe
what
the
they're all
government
doing. They're
about
all,
$92,000.
parents and grandfathers
I haven't
now.
filed for
Yeah.
taxes
You
in
know,
5 years.
that's a good thing,
Yeah.
man. You know,
For
ain't nothing wrong with that.
about
But,
11
it's
years,
funny,
I was
you know,
making $80,000 a year.
I finally
Yeah.
got on Facebook. All of a sudden, I got back in touch with like everybody.
So,
I went on
whenever
there.
I look at this,
Fuck, I don't even.
starting over.
It was like
It
going
is
to
48
I
years
remember
old.
going to a show,
Yeah,
all the
don't worry
people,
about
and I
it.
said,
And my daughter loves me to death.
Yeah.
Me and my
I've
ex-wife
seen
get
guys on
along
there
really
for
good.
35 years ago,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Get along
absolutely.
better now than
Yeah.
we did our last year of our marriage.
And there's all kinds of stuff every weekend.
Funny
and
how it
now the
happens
kids
that
have
way.
moved out.
Yeah,
go
I
out
mean,
all the
we
time.
we
Yeah.
were together for 12 years, but the last
Where you living at?
2 years
La Mirada.
were rough.
Lamar, where
Yeah.
about?
Do you know where?
Because I grew up right there.
I look at this.
You know where
as
La
the
Pluma
beginning,
Elementary
you know.
School is?
I think
I'm on a street called La Fonda.
There's zero
Dead ends
benefit
into
from
the golf course, the
other than
country club there.
Okay,
I could
you're
look
above
forward.
Telegraph.
if I
I'm
feel like
just-
picking up and
I'm
using and
south of
drinking,
Telegraph. I'm just above
that-
Rosecrans.
you know,
Okay,
So
looking
if you're-
forward
if
is
you're headed
basically
down
looking back
Rosecrans
on what
from
just
Beach Boulevard and you go
happened.
up
That's
the
what I
hill,
got to look forward
you
to.
cross
if I
Santa
continue
Cruz,
Okay.
to get
the
high
first
and
street
drunk,
past that,
right?
you turn right, and I'm about 3 houses up.
Yeah,
if I don't, things can only get better.
Been there
Yeah,
since
house.
87.
You know, the only flame under mine was pretty much along Will, 16 years. The kid, she's 17.
Yeah.
She's like,
I don't
I'm gonna
know
move in with you.
anymore,
She goes,
but-
I don't want to live with
Yeah,
mom.
you know.
She's like, I don't want to be at mom's
Yeah,
anymore.
La Mirada's a pretty good neighborhood.
But
Like
they
I
want
said,
to
I've
send me
lived
to
there since
Texas to go to
87.
college
Yeah.
because they're Texans.
Yeah, it's
And like,
pretty
that's
kick
gonna,
back.
I'm sorry.
that's gonna cause a
Girl
big
crazy.
Pretty close to a
fucking
lot of
risk
stuff.
with your mom.
Yeah.
It's like I'm moving in the minute I, the minute I graduate high school, I'm
I
from your house.
haven't wanted to go to
So,
shows for so long.
I work.
You know, I haven't wanted to go, you know.
Mhm.
That's inspiration. That's
Yeah, I
something
stay
to look
straight.
forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20
because
years.
she's like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I'm a
I need your help.
I'm going, you know.
Some of them
Like,
were even
okay,
finally
well,
getting
the
paid.
reason why I'm going to work
Well, you
and
know what? I'm
doing this
supposed to
dry
go,
drunk
you know,
thing and
around,
miserable
you know?
is
The ones that's the people that survive.
when I start to kind of,
You know?
she'll call me.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know.
Yeah, hey,
And then you go
I
there.
need your help.
It's like,
Oh, I forgot about you. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
You're my priority.
Thank God.
People knew me then.
It's the one thing I see in guys like you is
God,
that
I
the
had to
one thing that
recover.
straightens them out the most are not just their kids, but their daughters.
You know, and
Yeah,
Daughter
she's-
means everything.
Hey, not a
to me.
fuck
Yeah.
fucker.
No, I looked at, I found you on